All right. So, huh, I had no idea that I was going to do 3 live videos in one day. That's a lot of content, right? And my other 2 videos, I believe, are still processing because I am on slow internet connection. So if you missed those other lives, you'll probably have to catch them tomorrow. But I wanted to certainly record this, right? So I was venting. I was venting on all of them. I'm always venting. Air is good for you. Anyway, especially just at where I'm at right now, and my journey is that I'm not carrying unnecessary baggage, right? And some things are not baggage. Some things are just things to share because they feel really good and I have an overflow of it. And I'm just like, I'm going to share it. Maybe possibly it inspires somebody else and things of that sort. And for the nosy people that's looking at my strawberry skin on my elbows and my tattoo, I think my tats show up actually the right way, even though it looks like in the cameras that's another way. It says love conquers all, right? I have a couple of ink. I like ink. I admire ink because I'm an artist and I just admire ink. And I have a couple of inks on me. But anyway, I don't know how the video is going to show up, but this is my right hand. So if you were questioning anything, well, yes. Anyway, um, now that I've gotten that out of the way, because I just felt like that I should share that, because I don't want to discourage anybody. I don't want to discourage anybody. But anyway, I had 2 dreams last night. One before I got up to use the ladies' room, and another right afterwards. And the one right afterwards, I recorded it, but I did remember something important in the first. So I just was like, okay, cool, you know. But the record that I did with the second one, because it was very vivid, it was like, what do they call those type of dreams? It's vivid, you can see people's faces and stuff like that. Um, that particular dream, I saw specific colors and there were animals in the dream, but they weren't my animals. They were somebody I know animals. At least somebody I'm talking about animals. Anyway, sarcasm. I gotta pick with myself, right? So the interesting thing about this dream, one animal was up had 2 colors that are not regularly on the animal. Specifically, this was a cat. This cat had 2 colors, a neon pink and a blue. And they had a bunch of other colors too. But those colors stuck out because those are not colors that you customarily see on a cat, right? So, ironically, the person that was in the dream and the person who the cat belonged to did a presentation today. And while they were doing the presentation, they brought in somebody that is a part of their circle. And this person that they brought in that is a part of their circle literally had a scarf on their neck that was the neon color pink and blue. And I was just like, I don't know if I shared with them the dream. So I don't know whether they listened to what I shared because I obviously shared it way before the broadcast, like hours before the broadcast. And in no way did I know that the cat was associated with the person. I didn't know what the cat was associated with, honestly. And so I asked them what they thought of it, and I'm still waiting on a reply. But I just thought it was phenomenal. I did look up dogs, and I asked dogs. So how I do is I ask spirit, and then I look, and I typically 99.9% of the time get confirmation of what spirit has told me. And so when I asked about the other animals, I got that they're protective, you know. And when I looked it up, that's exactly what those animals symbolize. But a dream, however, the cat that had the different colors had different symbolisms, like a whole array of them. So I don't know what exactly that meant. Something said distractions, something said change. It was so many different interpretations for that particular animal. Um, so I don't know. But the fact that the individual that was doing the presentation with the person that was in the dream, the fact that that person had on those specific colors and it was bright. It wasn't like, you know, they had on a coat and you just saw a little bit sticking out at the neck. Like, no, like it was on top of their shirt, it was wrapped around their neck, and outside of them talking, it was just so prevalent, like just boom, just right there, right there, right there. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, but the fact that I saw those colors and those colors showed up definitely showed a connection. And when, whereas I should say, I'm typically very grateful to go to bed and go to sleep. Now, like, I don't know if I want to go to sleep. What else is gonna be shown to me? I just wanted to get up here and quickly say that. I ate very healthy today. Um, let me say healthy-ish, okay? I only had one little small little piece of meat, like a really teeny tiny piece of some barbecue chicken. I made barbecue yesterday. Fridays, I believe, is going to be my cheat days as I wean myself, right? Um, and so I cheated. I attempted to make a sponge cake. I took it out as instructed. Of course, I substituted some things. Instead of a meringue, making a meringue because I didn't have any eggs, I used mayonnaise instead. Instead of regular flour, I used pancake mix. Everything else was the same though. I mixed it exactly how I saw it being mixed, and the consistencies and everything lined up. And I did add an ingredient to the sugar. So to make a meringue, you use raw eggs and sugar, and you beat it really hard. So what I did, since I didn't have raw eggs, is I used eggs, which is almost like a meringue texture anyway, and I added the sugar to that, and I had brown sugar. And then while I was adding the brown sugar, I got the wonderful idea to add instant coffee. Everybody's so creative. I need a vacation. Anyway, so long story short, I did everything, followed all the instructions. The chicken came out perfect, just as I envisioned it to come out, and tasted even more delightful, right? The cake, it said to put in there for 30 minutes at a certain temperature. I did that. I took it out, and at first it was like really big, and I was like, oh, I did it. Amazing. And then I left it on the stove to cool. And I just looked at the stove just now, by the way, if you're wondering where did my eyes shift to. So as I left it on the stove to cool, it flattened a little bit, which I did see in the videos that happened, right? And I was like, concerned. So when I looked at it and I touched it, it was really super soft. Now it was supposed to be sponge cake, which means it's supposed to be soft. But I got nervous. I was like, maybe because of the type of pan I cooked it in, because everybody else used it like a tin can, and a tin can is relatively thin compared to a Pyrex glass. So I was like, maybe I'll put it in there for a few minutes more. A few minutes ended up being like 15 more minutes, and by the time I took it out, it was a cookie. A rather delicious cookie, but nonetheless a cookie. No longer a sponge cake at all. It never rose back up. And so that's what I had. And so that was what I had for my cheat day. I had a cookie and protein. And then so today, I had more cookie. I just got a notification. I had some of that cookie, and I had a little piece of protein, and I was like, okay, that's not gonna like carry me far. So I had bought some mushrooms at the beginning of this. Well, this is March, so beginning of February, and they were in the fridge a while. My plan was to chop them up and do something fancy, like saute them in some olive oil. But then after about like a week or so in the fridge, I was like, I want to make sure they don't go bad. So I stuck them inside the freezer, and that's where they rested for the entire month of February. And so today I was like, well, why don't I take them out? So I took them out, ran some cold water on them, had no idea they were going to defrost as quickly as they did, but they defrosted very quick. And I was like, oh, well, I could chop them up. When I went to chop them, they were very not the texture as they would have been when I froze them. Like if I never freeze them, of course it would have been like dry, and they wasn't dry because they were frozen and then engulfed in water. So then I was like, well, let me put them in a pot, boil them, and season them, and make some mushroom soup. And then I remembered, so I put them in a pot, seasoned them, put a little bit of water in there, and I was like, this is gonna be healthy. Turmeric, I'm really, the baking needs help, okay? I need practice with the baking. But the everything else cooking and my soups are particularly magically delicious, because I always just get these inspirations and it just comes together. And that's how this soup came together. So after I put the seasonings in there, some turmeric, I had a little bit of Tabitha Brown's mango seasoning, which also has turmeric in it. I put a little bit of barbecue rub in there. And what else I put? I put a little bit of Bowl and Basket seasoned salt in there, right? And so I stirred it. I'm looking at it and I'm like, mushrooms. I have cream of mushrooms in a can, condensed. So I said, ooh, let me add that. And I added the cream of mushroom in the can. I already had water in there, so I didn't have to add any additional water. And then I was like, I can throw some noodles up in here. It's like some ramen noodles. I threw some ramen noodles up in there. And then I was like, I should throw these frozen string beans up in there. And the frozen string beans was the kicker. Oh, wait, no. And I put a little bit of brown sugar in there to balance off of all those seasons. Because with the ramen, it came with a beef flavored pack. And I did put that pack in there as well to add flavor to it. But when I tell you, the first bowl, I was like, I'm eating my second bowl right now. But the first bowl I devoured for breakfast, and I'm eating the second bowl right now, and it is just ultimately delicious. Now my stomach feels full. My stomach feels full. So I ate very, 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 very extremely healthy today. Yeah. And then tomorrow it's going to be extra stellar. Because I'm not ashamed to say, I am a SNAP recipient currently for the time being. I don't know how long I'll be a SNAP recipient, but right now I am. And I get to get some fruits. That's what I'm going to get. I'm going to get a whole bunch of fruits and get some more seasonings, because I've been cooking a lot. So I've been running out of seasonings a bit, and just continue on this journey. I'm not gonna get no protein powder because I have protein powder, but I do need to re-up on my protein powder. I have two in particular. One, I have spirulina, and then I have anabolic muscle. So anabolic muscle is a very, very high concentrated of protein, and the spirulina is just a basic protein power meal supplement that's plant protein. The anabolic, I'm reading it. The anabolic protein, I believe, uses animal protein. Definitely uses milk. So milk comes from an animal, so I would say that that's the same thing. But the other one doesn't. So I plan on Well, not even I plan on. I've been already doing it. My body takes well to it. I have these other supplements that I'm not so excited about, but I am curious about what the results are going to be, and I have an abundance of them. And being that I did the ultimate chop uh, 2 months ago, and I'm very happy with the results, and the results are like just natural, like nothing enhanced have I done. But I want to kind of supplement and see what happens. So I have these right here, which are collagen advanced complex. They're for your hair, your skin, and the nails. I talked about my skin earlier. You can't really see. And I think that's because I've been giving attention to it. I wanted to put cover up on so bad today. I really did. Um, because I can see when I look in the mirror. Um, when I look at my reflection here in the camera, I don't see it as bad, but I see that rash that I got up underneath my nose. And I did content with on my other social media platforms, and my son is like, "Why would you do content with that white stuff on your face?" And I'm like, "Because I want to talk, and it doesn't matter, you know." But the result is like, it's encouraging me, I should say, to take extra care. So it's a new thing for me. You know, I honestly have been a bit neglectful with the outer of me. I've been very diligent with the inner, but not so diligent with the outer. So I have the space and opportunity to be diligent with both, because of course the inner now is just an innate habit. It's like first thing I get up, I gotta do it. You know, I'm excited about it, and it's really like for me one of the most important parts of my day, honestly. And you know, I kind of sometimes just want to go to sleep so I can wake up to do it. You know, and when I say it, I'm talking about my practices and everything. So I just wanted to come back on here and share a little bit of the color thing, and of course, I just continue to talk because that's how I am. I'm a little long-winded, but I hope everybody's having a wonderful Saturday. And if you see this and the prior episodes at a later date and time, like if you weren't here for the live and you're like, that was the same day. Yeah, it was the same day, and not actually too much time transpired between me getting myself upset, because I literally got myself upset. I really got upset over something that was, it was relevant to an extent, but it wasn't that relevant. It wasn't relevant where, first of all, the timeline had already passed. Like, and of course, nobody takes to a threat lightly. But it was an empty threat. It was an empty ass threat. And I handled it correctly. I didn't just come up here and vent. Like me coming up here and venting was the aftermath of me already taking action. So I already communicated back with the person, asked to be CC'd with their supervisor and also their legal department. And then I went a step further and contacted a resource that could be of support to me, and went through that. So everything is great, but whereas I could have just let it go, there's like this, I don't know what to call it. I'm gonna call it the politician in me. I have a better, and not the old school one, definitely a new school one, definitely new school, not an old school smoking mirrors, and you know I gotta tell fibs and I gotta win people over, not that type of politician at all, but the politician is just like very vigilant, want the right thing done, believe like our nation here, America, so when before I go, I'm about to go there, right? I have to. It can only stay silent, but for so long, because any opportunity it has to voice itself, it voices itself. But I will say the truth, right? Everything. everything has a spiritual counterpart to it. So there's something called the human spirit, and there is something called the spirit of America. And she's very strong. Like, she's strong, strong, like she's strong, strong. And um she has shown herself to me, not a physical form, but just like clarifying the fog, because there's a lot of fog. There's fog, and there's things that need to be cleaned up, and it's unclear, especially to some individuals who are melanated and who have dealt with so many injustices that they just feel like this is not for us. But the reality is that it is. It is for us. This nation is indeed for us. People have made it a certain way. Individuals that were wounded, individuals that were of a low vibration, of a low frequency, that misuse and abuse and have been trying desperately to turn this into something else. They have made situations and things bad. And I know that there were a lot of titles that were given to us, false identities given to us melanated people here. I know this. I'm aware of this, okay? And so is America. America is aware of this. America knows for sure the natural and the native people here. And America spirit only flourishes when there is righteousness done, which tells me that there's more righteousness being done than unrighteousness. And we may not see it in our immediate lives, or we may not see it in our immediate neighborhood sometimes. But if we look closer, we'll see it. We'll see it in the individuals. We'll see it in how we interact and look out for one another in our communities. We'll see it, and that is what keeps us going as a nation. Not the atrocities, not the racism, not the white privilege, not the injustices. All those things are from people, from wounded people who unfortunately got into positions of power. And why? Why would those people get into positions of power? Was it purposely to manipulate? I think so, some of them. But why would they even be allowed up there? Because I feel like that is the type of openness that this nation has. I feel like we have that type of openness that's like, listen, anybody can be in this position. And when they say anybody, they mean anybody. But that doesn't just mean that anybody who is hurt or needs to be healed or has an agenda that is not conducive to the progress for our nation and for humanity in general. It means literally anybody. And even though they assassinated in the past some of our greats, what they assassinated was just their physical body. They could never come against their spirits, and they recognized that, and then they utilized that in a lot of their structures. So there's a reason why there's a Martin Luther King Jr. in almost every major city here in this nation. There's a reason why they try to stand behind his spirit when they construct different buildings, and they dedicate certain things to him. And other greats, also like Robert Kennedy, so they have failed in trying to make this into something that it's not to be. And they just can't. So we're seeing a lot of changes. We're seeing a lot of things come to the forefront, and we're a part of it, somehow, some way, So I encourage everybody just to continue to do your very best, continue to work on yourself and your own thoughts and your own vibration, and take accountability. Like, I can very easily say, this person did this to me because somebody sent me a correspondence, somebody sent me a threat. So fucking what? And in the real scope of things, like it was empty. There's too many things. Number one, it held no weight, and they had to show that it held no weight because they switched it up. First, they send me an email, which I would have never seen because I get so much spam. Okay, but then they sent me a written letter, and the date on the written letter was February 3rd, and it said, "If you do not give us what we want in 2 weeks, we're going to do blah 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 to you." 2 weeks have passed, 3 weeks have passed. So now they send me another email. And the only reason why I know it is because I got the physical letter today, 4 weeks later, a whole month later, okay? And and it says, so I went to the email because the letter is an actual printout of the email. And I searched it in the email and saw, oh, I got two emails. So the first email was the 3rd. I don't even know what date the second one was, but it was after the 3rd, obviously, and after the 2 weeks have passed. And they're like, you have until now, March 31st to answer. How you go from 2 weeks to 2 months? Cut it out. Just cut it out. Just find something else to do. Because now, since you want to take your time and energy to try to intimidate me and fail at doing it, now you're going to be underneath the burner because you are subjected to federal law and you're acting discriminatory towards me to threaten to take something from me on the basis of a piece of paper. They have already have enough documentations and run background checks to know that I am indeed Takara Bay. You know this already, right? You know that even though my ancestors may have been classified as Negro, even though my ancestors may have been classified as colored, even though my ancestors may have been prisoners of war and slaves picking cotton, even though I am the hope of my ancestors. I know my true identity. I identify as my truest self. And there's nothing you can do but accept it. You can't threaten me, you can't intimidate me, you can't scare me because I am that I am and I know who I am. So when you put that energy towards me, just know that energy that you have put towards me is going to return to you, unfortunately, because that's the energy that you put out into the world. And so because of being so vigilant, I am concerned, not necessarily with me, I'm concerned with the other individuals that have no idea what's going on, no idea how they're still enslaved mentally, no idea how they're still spellbound, no freaking idea at all when it's being done underneath these different guises. That's what angers me. But it's my thought that allowed it to anger me. It wasn't that person's actions. That person's actions is just going to reflect back onto them and their department and their paperwork. Your paperwork better be straight because you're about to get audited. But anyway, I say that with love, you know. I just say that with love. I wish Hazel the most loving, amazing. And when I got my support, I was like, don't fire them. Just remind them that they're part of a nation and humans are human beings and you cannot threaten a human being underneath this guise and think that, I don't know what she's talking about. No, clearly, because you didn't just ask for it. You threatened me. If you would have just asked for it, then that would have been different. Then you would have been like, it would have been nothing. It's still nothing. But the fact that you threatened me, you made it something a little bit for yourself, not for me. You just helped me actually because I needed to delegate a situation and I wasn't going to do it. Like unless something nudged me. Spirit was gonna nudge me one way or the other. But I needed to delegate this task that is at hand to a professional who's competent and who would love to capitalize off of your injustices and line their pockets in a just way. Uh, so anyway, so that's what happened. I self-regulated, and it took me a while. I I don't typically allow myself to go into that space because it is a elevated space of aggression, and it's just it ain't necessary. It ain't necessary, and I have to like come back down because that warrior part of me is she's very much alive. Like I love her, you know. I know shit. Like I feel good. I feel safe with her because she be ready. She's like, what we gonna do? That's my inner warrior. She ready. She ready. She be freaking ready. She be ready, and I be like, I just get to, because indeed, the pen is mightier. The pen is mightier. This is how a lot of things happen with this. Not with them shuma bang bang bangs. With this right here, with the pen. The pen is mightier than the sword. Your words, your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts, your energy is where the true power is at. And so once you know that, even if you go through a human emotion of being upset, any human emotion, you have to still come back to your center. You have to still come back to your core. So I'm glad that I have this platform to share my knowledge and my wisdom with people, because I think people get so wrapped up in a spiral of negativity, and it's just like, they don't realize if you stay there too long, you're going to invite more of that, right? So it's okay, things happen, you let it pass. Like, you don't give it too much. My goal is to get to the point where I don't give it at all, anything at all. It's just like nothing. It's like, what? Nothing. Just my energy just going straight to the positive, straight to the good, straight to that. That is a level of self-mastery that I am achieving. Because I say so, and I'm the sole authority over my life by the grace of the divine that is beating my heart without me even thinking about it. That is pumping my blood without me even thinking about it. So much is happening without my thought because of the love, the infinite love and the infinite power that is within and surrounding me at all times. So many unseen, and seen, because the divine is within everybody. It's just some people are conscious and some people are not conscious of it. And I happen to be conscious, so I can't act like I'm not. So I have to take accountability and be like, okay, that was me, my bad to me, and let's get it together, And luckily, there are amazing souls on this planet that, a lot, like countless, I can't even count how many there is, that are always there and available and of service. And we have these amazing devices, and spirit moves through anyone or anything, okay? There's been plenty of times where I may have felt temporarily in a funk, an emotional funk for whatever reason, and I go and I scroll and there's an inspirational quote. There's somebody that's saying something inspirational that's just exactly what I need to hear at the right time. So spirit is unlimited. Isn't that nice? It's nice. And so I'm getting used to it, It's always been there. It's always been available for me. I remember situations that seem helpless. I remember being in cities by myself as a teenager, technically a young adult because I was 18, but I was still a teenager in a strange city by myself, had no idea where I was going. Thank you, Detroit. Awake. Because woke is a past tense. But I appreciate you. Appreciate you. But I remember being in those circumstances and like having the inner guidance. And I thought it was something outside of me, but it was really something internally. It was like, get on this train and take it to the last stop. I mean, specific instructions. And I did it. And because what else was there for me to do? There was literally nothing else for me to do. And I did it and ran into somebody who knew somebody and was able to accommodate me, you know? And so it's always been there. I just, now I'm getting to the point where I can appreciate it and I know what it is and I can call on it at any time and it's already activated and just be in awe and just be in amazement, you know, like, ooh, like I'm in awe and amazement about this dream, people, for several reasons. But the reason that stick out the most is the color thing, because I know they recognized it. I just don't know if they heard my message before recognizing it, but I know they'll listen to the message eventually, which means they'll recognize it and they'll recognize, okay, this message was left at this time and this happened at that time. There was no way for me to know what this person that I don't even know was going to wear, the colors. And the fact that these colors stuck out is of significance. So it gives them the opportunity to go to the divine and seek guidance around that individual, you know? I mean, an animal is a pet. This was a pet in their lives, you know? And maybe they're aware, you know? I ain't here to judge, you know what I mean? Like, people have different stations, so as free as I would want everybody to be, some people's freedom is in serving as, I hate to say, the pets of others. I don't know. It had to have some more symbolism to it. But I definitely associate that person with the cat. And the fact that when they got the cat changed is significant to me, because they told me in the dream that the cat, when they first got it, was pink and white. So I looked up the colors, like everything. I looked up everything. Now, even though the symbolism of the cat was kind of scattered in the dream interpretations that I found, the colors were very consistent. So pink meaning feminine, white meaning pure. So this was a pure feminine energy. Right? And that's okay. I kind of saw that. I kind of saw the femininity. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, it is what it is, you know? That's what's comfortable. It doesn't change who they are, and it doesn't change, you know, anything. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to seem like I'm coming for the individual, because I'm not. I don't know that individual. I just know that I'm associating them with the cat because they had on the exact colors. I should talk to my pastor. I'm not a sheep. And I'm actually an ordained minister myself. So I think you're coming in at the tail end. And I'm pretty sure that you didn't hear the complete thing. And I'm not going to go over the complete thing again, because there were other components. And I just wanted to touch on it because it stood out significantly to me. But really, what is the most of the takeaway is the person who was hosting the presentation, because that person is magnificent. And I'm going to end this live on that. So if you didn't see it from the beginning, catch the replay. And because everything is loading slowly, you'll probably have to catch it tomorrow. But peace.